We also, what young people can do and how we need to encourage that. We believe at FKE, the Federation of Kenya Employers, that fostering an entrepreneurial spirit among our youth is key to addressing the pressing challenge of youth unemployment, because entrepreneurship not only drives economic growth, but it also spurs innovation and diversification across various sectors. The challenge is getting markets for the youth for the products that they have. But at FKE, we do what we can to support young entrepreneurs, to help impart the skills that they need. We've had programs that are connecting small enterprises to large enterprises that can encourage them also to improve on their standards, to get markets. These are efforts that we do to be able to encourage entrepreneurs. We talked a lot about skills development in the morning. From the surveys that we did, there were hard skills that are required, but we also realized from these surveys, in the context of the future of work, that there are also cognitive skills, such as complex problem solving and critical thinking skills that are needed, socio-emotional skills, such as teamwork, resilience, self-confidence, negotiation skills, and self-expression. These are highly valuable at the workplace, which cannot really be replaced by technology. According to the survey that we did last year, the Skills Needs Survey, there are also social skills which employers are looking out for. These are effective communication. Believe it or not, people struggle to communicate at the workplace. Critical thinking, time management, reporting to work in time, and finishing assignments is still a big issue. So there's a role to be played also in imparting these skills. I don't want to go back to the issue of the mismatch between the education and the employability of our youth. This has been discussed, and I'm sure the panel will be going into some discussion on that. But I want to say, on behalf of the Federation of Kenya Employers, that we do recognize that if there was ever a time that industry needed to work more closely with the world of work and with the world of training, the learning institutions and governments, it is now. I shared with you in the morning what we are doing in this field, and I will just remind you, as I mentioned, that all these things that we do as FKE, influencing policies, and the PS talked about policies. There's so many policies that have been developed. We have a skills development policy. We have a framework for career guidance. We have national guidance for sector skills. I think NITA is here. They focus on various sectors, and employers actually pay a levy to support skills development for those in industry. We have TVETs that a lot of work is going towards. We have the recognition of prior learning. The CEO, KNQA, talked about this in the morning. So how do we harness all these initiatives as a country to actually bring some result, positive result, to the big challenge that we're facing about creating jobs? When we've gotten the research, we've looked at the curriculums, at the end of the day, we still need the jobs. And this brings me back to what it is that FKE does. And that is looking at the state of enterprises. I'm happy I saw Richard Muteti here for Juakali sector, SMEs, informal sector, formal sector. We need to look at the state of enterprises in these various sectors to see whether they can, what can be done to strengthen them, to be able to keep the people they have in jobs, because sadly, people have been losing jobs because of what the economy is undergoing, but also to create new jobs. And if you look at the demographics, I've shared a bit about the demographics for sub-Saharan Africa, but you know for sure that the world, the West, the so-called developed economies, have shrinking populations. We have a growing population. So this is where the workers of the world will come from at all levels. So we need to harness that and be able to work together to see what can be done to prepare our people to compete effectively in the global market, to get not just the low-level jobs that we are being told about, which are important for those who don't have the skills as yet. There is a place for the kind of jobs that we are seeing Kenya is exporting, but at the end of the day, how will we get Kenyans with these new technological skills that the world is looking for, and so many new ones. So we need to be deliberate, strategic, and intentional in our approach to labor markets and skills development to reap the opportunities that there are and to maximize on the youth bulge that we have. For us at FKE, I just want to reconfirm our commitment to doing everything that we can to link the skills development agenda to the needs of the labor market. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Very well. Thank you, CEO Jacqueline Mugo, for that. I think it's now a fair point to begin our panel for the afternoon. And CEO Jacqueline Mugo, you are free to leave on volition. Asante sana. Let me introduce KNCCI CEO. And let me also ask the protocol team to kindly help me with that podium so that we can start our conversation. KNCCI CEO Patrick Nyangweso is here with us. Karibu sana, so that we can begin this. All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a lecture. This is a conversation we are having. So we expect you to have questions, answers, responses, and everything in between as we talk about the state of our country, employment, and adoption of these skills into the job market. Let me give each and every of our panelists a minute each for introduction. Okay, yeah.
I do the Kenyan thing of microphone testing. Good afternoon, friends. I spoke with you in the morning. I haven't changed, so I'll pass that on to the next person. If that was the only expectation.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Grace Mary Mushiri. I lead project at the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, specifically the Ajira Digital Program. And this is a topic very close to our heart as the umbrella body of the private sector. So the Kenya Private Sector is it's an umbrella body of all the private sector in the country. And what we do, we discuss and come together as a voice to voice out cross-cutting issues or issues that affect different sectors and the business environment in the country. Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Daniel Ochola. I'm a student at Mount Kenya University doing Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. I'm happy to be here and to be invited by the national media and the partners to talk about the advancement of the youth employment and to look at what are the kind of solutions which we should be giving, apart from the problems which have given out and which are which are mostly out there and most everybody knows about. So once more, thank you for inviting me.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Joyce Njogu from the Kenya Association of Manufacturers. That's a business membership organization for manufacturing value-add industries. I'll also be talking about the role we play in creating jobs within our sector. Thank you.
Lastly.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
I'm Patrick Nyangweso, the Chief Executive Officer for Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm here to listen and discuss and share a very transformative path that would be able to define the destination and absorption of our youths today in the job market. Thank you.
Carol, let's dive right into it. What are the current economic conditions that, particularly in Kenya, but that are affecting unemployment and underemployment of young people in our country?
Thank you, Brian. Today we are having a conversation around skilling. We're not we haven't spent as much time speaking about economic growth. Because a country can have a lot of skills. And I think that has also been a challenge for Kenya. Kenya has a lot of skills developed. I think someone in the morning actually said one of the highest skill levels in Africa. Now, whether that skill is relevant is something that we can discuss. But at the same time, when you look at the demand for skill, for talent in Kenya, it remains low. And so the conversation on skilling should go hand in hand with a conversation on demand for that skill. Because if you skill 10,000 and the economy as it is structured is only able to take on, did I use 10? 8,000, you still have a challenge. Maybe it's not even a skill challenge. And it is a function of how the economy, the structure of the economy is. And that's when we start talking about, well, maybe not absorption into wage employment, which is what a lot of young people want. We speak about entrepreneurship. It's not the path of option for many young people. No, it will not. It is hard to be an entrepreneur. And so it's something that I'm also very careful to advance. As much as we know that it is an alternative, but we should also work more on expanding the economy so that those really that want to get into wage, get into wage. And those that want to take the entrepreneurship path, take it not out of desperation, and with the complexities and challenges that probably my good friend Patrick will speak to. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur. So more concretely on your question, the structure of the Kenyan economy really is not as designed, is not generating the kind of demand, aggregate demand, that the training ecosystem is getting out there. And so we will need really to have conversations on and I'm not an economist, but I understand employment, on the macroeconomies of this country, on the fiscal policies, on the monetary policies. But most importantly, what we can work with is the sectoral policies. We need to identify what are the drivers of growth in Kenya, and probably Joyce will speak to that. So identify 3, 4, 6 sectors with job-rich potential and see how those can be supported so that they're able to absorb as many in wage employment, but also integrate the entrepreneurs, the ones that are struggling to just get their businesses going, into those major supply chains in those sectors. And then we will really be moving the needle. Yeah.
I guess you just leave the microphones on, kindly. Just leave them on. Daniel, you're listening to these conversations as we are talking here, as the panelists are making their submissions. I don't know what metrics you would use to measure whether or not your skills are necessary or are as on demand as they should be for you to be easily hired. But let me ask, do you feel scared by some of these submissions that some of the things perhaps that you're studying may not be relevant to the market? And do you feel prepared enough by your education to be able to take up some of these skills? First of all, which year are you in? Are you a finalist?
I'm actually in my third year.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Now, the two questions. Do you feel like the skills you're currently learning in school are prepared for the real world? And these submissions, do they scare you that perhaps you may not even end up getting a job?
Thank you for the question. I think as at now, if we look at the education system and the kind of skills which is required in the job, there's a bit of the mismatch of the skills. And I believe that if you only rely on the skills you're being taught at the school, because you find the notes the notes your lecturers were taught with are the ones they come with, and they treat you with the same notes. The the same dump and the same set of the questions which were being set like 5 years ago are the same kind of questions which are being recycled. And that one doesn't resonate with the current evolving world in the terms of technology and in terms of the trends. And I believe that only relying on the kind of all the skills you're being taught in the school cannot guarantee you a job. And also, I also believe that being that in the higher institutions, being that it is where somebody comes in order to get to the job market. So there is need to integrate a more stronger relationship with the industries. I mean, in terms of trainings and giving the apprenticeships and the internships, such that you get outside the university or the college or the TVET, and you are very ready for the job market. And I think that one can give you like enough confidence that you apply for the same job in the Google as somebody in the US, and you at least believe in yourself that the kind of skills you have is the right skills you need to be, and it's the skills that can be gauged even if you get into an interview with somebody who is from the US or it's from Germany.
Check. Technical, kindly just leave them on, please. Mr. Patrick, now that you're holding the microphone, I was actually coming to you next. Where are universities and tertiary institutions getting it wrong? Because as a CEO, I know you're hiring, but we are seeing a lot of traineeship programs. I don't know, Carol, if you're looking at employers nowadays, they take up students from university and then they put them through a traineeship program. I went through one like that myself, but I think it was good for me because I didn't do a journalism course initially. I did something totally different. But you find somebody who's done accounting has to be taken through another sort of a bridging traineeship. Patrick, where do you think learning institutions miss it?
Thank you, my brother George. Allow me to make this observation before I answer you. As we have this candid conversation, when we talk of youth for tomorrow, I think we need to stop that and have KICC declaration and we talk of youth for today, not for tomorrow. Now, I think in the morning I was not here, but I was hosting for you as my fellow Kenyans, a big delegation from Poland to bring business in Kenya. And if you want to invest in technology, get my contact after this so that we talk of serious business. I think universities, there is a big gap, George, between today, the universities that we went to and the universities that are offering this same skills we are talking about to our brothers, sisters, daughters, and sons. Sometimes we blame the Kenyan youth that they don't have sufficient or relevant skills. I say no, because I've gone through the process. I've been a lecturer at universities. And what my brother is saying here is true. We hire people. In fact, KNCCI is a big employer because of our presence in 47 counties. You can imagine being a CEO of 47 counties and at the headquarters, so you have more than 70 here. And we give a lot of even internship. Just sometimes when you interview these fresh graduates, sorry to mention this, sometimes it's terrible. It is the kind of curriculum we have designed for our students or our sons and daughters to thrive and for them to be competitive. When we talk of skills match, it begins from the source. The source are our tertiary colleges. The source are TVET institutions. The source are universities. Can we change, not have policies gathering dusts in the offices, so that we have market-oriented or labor market-oriented courses? It is very expensive for parents to invest. George, if you check the ones who are going to take their sons and daughters to the universities this year, I'm telling you the cheapest bachelor per one academic year, they will spend more than 450,000. Some of us, we used to spend like around 35,000. It is an investment. Education is an investment. And therefore, our youth need to get the right skills. The mismatch are drawn from three. We are from the demand side, the supply side, and also from the policy side, that is education, and the agencies we have. And in our employment pattern, if you check the country, George, sometimes when we engage our members, we started at KNCCI a program known as the Apprenticeship Support Program for Youth. And we are working with universities and also other colleges and even county governments. I would tell you we tried it 2021, 2022, 2022, 2023. Out of more than 120 fresh graduates, we were only able to get 60 absorbed in different sectors. And the feedback we are getting is that there is total mismatch of what we have learned from universities, colleges, and the industry needs. So if we really want to transform and support our youth to remain competitive, not only within Kenya, but across the region and also the global, then we must really tailor-make the courses that would make them to thrive in the job market. Mm-hmm. Today, as we speak, I had a discussion last week with one of the investors who wants to set up a textile and leather industry in Nakuru. Mm-hmm. And they want to employ over 350 young Kenyans. So he asked us that I'm not worried about taxation. I'm worried about where will I get the right skills to invest and start this industry. That tells you, as we are busy telling our youth, go and get jobs in Dubai, mm-hmm. or Saudi Arabia, or other Arabic countries, or UAE. There are also factories in Kenya here who are dying for the right skills. Why can't we equip our own so that before we have brain drain, take our trained personnel outside the country, we exploit the internal opportunities. Therefore, we need to upskill our youths. We need to really impart the right skills to the youth so that they remain competitive. And this comes with infrastructure in universities. It comes with commitments of the government. It comes by designing the right policies. It comes with engaging industry players so that the industry players will be able to influence decisions, beginning from the TVET institution, the tertiary colleges, and the university, so that by the time the youth come out of the university or colleges, then the private sectors like us would be able to comfortably engage and recommend the youth to get the right so that they remain not just busy but productive. Lastly, I want to say, ICT is here with us. The world is ever changing and changing very fast. Nowadays, my brothers and my daughters, because I have nice daughters just like you, please, let's think out of the box. The low self-esteem, let's bury it today at KICC. Walk out of KICC. Some of us have made it. We started from where you are. It is possible. The only thing we need to really amplify to the government, that please adopt other policies like what Indonesia adopted, what Congo Brazzaville adopted. What is it? Let the youth open the businesses. Mm-hmm. Let them begin their business. Give them tax holidays, 2 years or 1 year. Then bring them to the tax bracket. They will be motivated. Give them incentives. Give them a break for 24 months or 36 months. Let's see, train them, mentor them, mm-hmm. coaching and mentorship. Let them thrive. Engage them, give them affordable financing access. Because today banks offer interest rate more than 21.6%. Mm-hmm. Which youth among you will walk to KCB or any other bank and get the loan? They will ask you collateral, marriage certificate, do you have a piece of land? As private sector, we are saying no. Let's come to a conversation. How do we really, youth who wants to go to the entrepreneurship, how do we create conducive atmosphere for you so that when you begin your small business, we give you a tax break, but tax incentives and motivation so that you begin the business. Entrepreneurship is the way to go, young mm-hmm. men and women in this house. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'd be really heartbroken if you hadn't given him a hand clap after that, passionate submission. Grace, let me bring you in next, and I'm going to pick up from where Patrick left it at. Right now, if you want to access credit, there is a question of collateral, Some of these young people are just leaving university, just getting into entrepreneurship. They are managing businesses that have turnover of less than 500,000 sometimes. What structures are there in the private sector to enable them, those who may not end up employed like myself, to begin successful businesses?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. And I just wanted to reckon something that Patrick has brought across in terms of entrepreneurship is just the way to go. And I know Carol here indicated that entrepreneurship is hard. It's something we really can't crack. But let me just give an example with myself. In my many years of employment, I've really come to learn that there's no way I can do away with an entrepreneurial mind in terms of even selling myself to my employers, even selling myself to the next employer, and the value that I bring to an organization. It's purely an entrepreneurial mind, yeah? And I have been privileged to work within a project in the digital economy, where we are giving alternatives to the formal jobs in terms of employment. And this is digital jobs and digitally enabled jobs. And one thing we've really come to learn, because this is a project that picked up during COVID time in 2020, and 4 years down the line, we've seen the numbers grow of digital job work participants from 600,000 to 2.4 million. So, and that has really taught us a lot of things in terms of, if you don't see opportunities as an entrepreneur, you will definitely stand at the same point and keep on seeking jobs. So back to the question you've asked in terms of credit facilities. Previously, it's been a very hard thing with financial institutions giving collaterals giving credit facilities to entrepreneurs, and you have to really you have to bring securities and all those. But I think times have been changing, and we appreciate the fact that platforms and technology especially can be used to show the transactions that one has been operating on, and that can be used to get you those facilities. So my biggest one is the support that the private sector is pushing in terms of technology, because we've realized that's a very big opportunity. And so we as the private sector, we have been first, apart from the policies and regulations that definitely dictate such opportunities with financiers, it's away from that, we've been showing the importance of leveraging on technology to push for these small enterprises and startups to take advantage of these opportunities. So I can say mainly it's technology and other forms of evidence that prove that you're eligible for credit facilities. Yes.
Great. Joyce, let me come to you next. We're living at a time when there's a lot of technological advancement. There's so much that is being scaled down by technology in terms of human resource hiring and uptake. But as we also have that, the constant conversation even in the tea zones has been, why do we need mechanized tea picking when we have so many people who can pick this tea? So my question then becomes, what are some of the on-demand skills that are needed by manufacturers, on-demand skills needed by manufacturers to be able to take up these young people who are here and who are looking for opportunities in the industries and also in manufacturing? It could be as simple as even what Carol was holding earlier on in terms of the basket.
Yes, first I want to encourage the young people that skills is about people. Everything in life actually is about people. Whether it's goods and services that we make as manufacturers, we make them to serve people. or to make it easier for people to enjoy life. If you think about that, then you start looking at technology differently. Technology is there to make your life easier, to make your life better. And I know we have been having the concept that technology is taking away jobs. I remember when the phone came, some people said, I'll never use a phone. It's just coming to disrupt us. And today, if you have no phone, you feel like you're naked. So we need to embrace technology and know that it has come to make our life easier. What does that mean? It means that some of the simple things that other forms of technology were doing, for instance, it's long since I wore a watch. By the way, I have nice watches, but I forget to wear because I have a phone that can also update me. I have a calendar schedule on my phone. I have so many things on that phone. It doesn't mean that now it's not important for the kind of things we were doing previously. So it's looking at where is technology taking us. One of the things in manufacturing sector is that we are looking at technology to advance our efficiency. There's a lot of global competitiveness issues affecting us, and technology is the main driver. So not just manufacturing. Manufacturing first, if I must say, is a way of doing business, making things to sell to people. Making things. It's the art of making things. But as you make them, you invest, like those investors who have come, as Nyangwaso has said, who want to set up a factory in Nakuru. They'll want to invest. After they invest, they look for skills. They'll have to buy technology. After they buy technology, they have to trade. After they trade, they have to receive money or give money or find financial ways of doing that. All that is enabled by technology. So technology helps us communicate. So just look at it. We used to struggle to communicate, and I was just telling somebody, Gen Zs are seemingly looking powerful this season because they have many ways of communicating digitally. Yet in our time, we still did the same things. Energy for young people has never changed. It has always been there. Yeah. It's just that in our time, we didn't have TikToks and those kind of things. So you are just making your noise in a small corner and another one in another corner, and it is killed in that corner of Kisumu, killed in a... But today, because of technology, we are able to be more efficient in how we reach each other. So if you think that way, then you begin to value technology and build innovations. So manufacturing right now is really struggling from innovations because a lot of the things we do now is data-driven. From the equipment and machines that we are buying, they are data-driven. So data analytics is an emerging skill that the young people, if they took it up, is going to grow, not just in manufacturing, in trade, marketing, in engineering, in robotics. Data analytics is a key skill. A lot of industries now have gone already into robotics in Kenya. And one of the skills, besides software development and all these others that come with technology, of course, are things like mechatronics, you know, and electrical areas, AI, the artificial intelligence is becoming a big thing. So the young people who are in those areas, you can optimize and find that you'll get transferable skills that can be used across all sectors. And manufacturing does not work in isolation. We work with all these other sectors. The retail trade being one of our biggest areas, financial sector, and others. So I encourage the young people to embrace technology. Whichever technology is coming up, take it up and see what innovations can I drive using this technology. And I must applaud them. Most of the technologies manufacturers are adopting, or finance sector, or the M-Pesa kind of mobile strategies are coming from young people. Innovations. So we are in a world of innovations. And if we don't see how we can innovate, making things better, or coming up with new innovations, or new things, or just improving what already exists, and that's part of the entrepreneurship area. But just at CAM also, we pride ourselves in providing long-term sustainable jobs. Because an investor in manufacturing sets up very heavy assets, machinery. It's not a place you can park and go overnight. So people set up that kind of investment so that they can be able to be there for the long haul. So we create long-term jobs. So currently we are at about 352,000 direct jobs, but we pride ourselves in creating so many jobs across the supply chain. So you can serve the sector either as a provider of services, or you could be as an entrepreneur. But even within manufacturing or within employment, you must be entrepreneurial in nature because you need to make that business grow. But just to respond, we have also done a sector deep dive. I urge you to go to our website. We have a sector's deep dive report. Sometimes jobs mismatch comes from lack of knowledge. I'm studying in the university, I'm doing engineering. Am I aware which companies in Kenya can give me those jobs? Have I tried to approach them for internship? So if you go there, you'll see the different sectors. If it is textile and apparel, we've given a growth trajectory of how, and Nyangoso, maybe we can partner as you engage a lot of investors. Where are the areas of investment in this country? And we are saying by 2030, we want to create 1 million jobs just from manufacturing sector, direct jobs, wages. Those who are not able to get embraced in can go into self-employment. But entrepreneurship is for everybody, just to tell the young people. Mm-hmm. Whether you're employed or you're self-employed, mm-hmm. you must be entrepreneurial so that you can help all the businesses grow. So I want to first share that we have a dual TVET program. Sure. Dual TVET program and the policy that's there is simply saying we look at the supply side and the demand side and create a match. Mm-hmm. We have been supported heavily by JZ to come up with the demand side of what we need, and then get young people to study a course knowing that I'll already get a job at company X. Mm-hmm. It's a new way of thinking. It's still a pilot, but it kind of kills that skills gap or that bridge, that gap that people are talking about. Because even before you start your course, you already know company X needs this skill. Yeah. And they have assured me they'll give me internship until I graduate. Mm-hmm. So you are doing your 3 months here, 3 months there. 3 months in college, 3 months in. So by the time you leave, nobody will say you have a mismatch. It will be the responsibility of the industry and the college to make sure there's no mismatch. So this new direction the government is taking together with private sector to be industry-led in the way you offer training is very good. And we've been doing pilots around the country. But also to say thank you to ILO, because we're able to even reach Turkana and Garissa to give them jobs. Wow. So there are so many jobs in industry, like it was said. But where are the people to work there? And of course, these jobs, I'm not saying some jobs are 3 or 4, and you have 1,000 people waiting to get the same jobs. So that kind of competitiveness is where we now bring in the soft skills. How do you position yourself? And technology can help you access these jobs also. Mm-hmm. So please embrace technology. I know you wanted us to stick to technology, but embrace technology. It can open doors for you where others don't have access. Because sometimes technology gives you such a unique skill that other people don't have, especially the other older generations. So young people, take advantage that you're agile, you're versatile, and you can beat the older generation with technology innovations. Then come to the workplace. We really need young people to come and help us with innovations. Thank you.
Patrick, you're itching.
You can allow me to add something.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yes, tuko sawa.
Okay. My brother, I think we need to talk to the bourgeoisies this afternoon, not the youths. Youths, you have done your part. You have the skills. You have not surprised us. You have not embarrassed us. You have the papers. I think we need to have a candid conversation with the bourgeoisies in this country. Our appetite and priorities of investment. If you go to Rwanda, it is the Rwandese who have those billionaires and millionaires who prioritize the right investment to absorb the youths. Today, there is a very bad culture in Kenya, and allow me to pass this message. Where do you expect our youth to get employment if when you get those millions, you know the source, how you get them, and your priority is to open restaurants, build churches,
or buy land,
and you kill now the coffee plantations and build those high-rise, the so-called apartments. Who will get those apartments in the next 20 years if we don't give opportunity and begin small industries for these youth to get employment so that next time they come and occupy your apartment? Who will drink from your restaurants? Today, if these youths, millions of them, you have just been told, the latest statistics puts you at more than 80%. That is 35 years and below. Which means us, me, I'm in Gen X, Gen X, Then from there you graduate to Gen Z, then millenniums.
The other way around.
It is the other way around?
Yeah.
Okay, what I know, I'm in X.
Yes.
Now, since I'm in X, if my work when I get money, instead of opening farms for even fresh produce export, which will employ even 20 or 50 youths, Instead of now investing on cottage industries, buying China here, you just go, a machine that would make musimali, which we import for construction, is less than 5 million. Everybody is competing to have high buildings. Who will occupy that? We want to have a drunkard nation? All these restaurants, even churches, people pray only when you have something in the pocket. If you have eaten, so let's change our appetite of investment to absorb our youth. Second thing about the adoption of technology. Today, my brothers and sisters, I would still ask you to demystify the misconception that it is hard to make it in Kenya. Personally, as I talk to you, I have a story to tell, but not for today. I started working with a degree in economics from the University of Nairobi at 6,000 up to River Road. What I was doing, carrying those big condoms of the bag of cartons. You remember the Ministry of MOH previously, they had big ones. So we were doing a lot of health promotion. And I used to carry that. Somebody was laughing at me that degree is useless. Your degree or diploma is not useless. Whoever is telling you that, you have invested, you have the knowledge. Think big. Think big, but start small. Today, where I am, Brian, you know, is at the higher periphery. And I started from scratch. Youth, work in groups. Youth, borrow some small amount of money.
Yeah.
Start even distribution pole. Don't hate agriculture. There is money in agriculture today. Every day on my office, I get, and you know, we get inquiries who can export dried vegetables.
Yeah. Meat.
Onions, meat, a lot of products. Imagine if you go to Northeastern, they slaughter the bulls, and they just throw those hides and skins. Do you know one for a bull can make how many shoes? More than 6 or 8 pieces. And standard shoe like the one I'm wearing, you can imagine the course I don't want to talk about. I'm in your class. One hide which is being thrown in Isiolo or even Marsabit. With the knowledge you have, and government, if they work well, and we hope we are going to push them to work well, with their common user facility, with your knowledge, you start even doing a small tannery.
Yeah.
And you go and sell them. Or you sell them to the shoemakers. You will begin to make money. Lastly, the groups. We started a small platform known as Isoko. You can Google and search Isoko platform. Today, this Isoko, you don't have to register with any money. So long as you are very creative enough and you are innovative, you post your product there, every person in this region, the EAC, will be able to see your contact and your products, and they just text you. And you supply. You don't have to go to Uganda. Today it employs, by last Friday, we had more than 12,000 Kenyan youths, making a lot of money, and they have employed very many people, either distributors or the ones who are doing packaging. So my fellow Kenyans.
I think that deserves a clap.
My fellow Kenyans.
I think it does.
Thank you. And in fact, Brian, when we started this platform, courtesy of Trademark Africa, we are now scaling it to Africa. Imagine just small products. You are able to post it. And we will not charge you anything. Uganda is trailing. In fact, the second one is Rwanda, 8,000.
Wow.
The least one is 4,000 from Tanzania. Look at how Kenyans are really rated high. Don't be cheated that you are nothing. It is better to fail so that you are used as an example than succeed at nothing. Try today and you will be different tomorrow. Thank you.
Hi. I still have a couple of questions, but I think we've got to take questions from the audience. But briefly, Daniel, do you feel tired, or do you feel like it's overworking when you always have to know that you have to keep upskilling every other time? Does it feel exhausting to be told, oh, this skill is not needed? You studied it, yes, but it's not needed. We need to upskill to this much, and then you constantly have to go online and study and do this.
I mean, when I'm being put into task, I mean, I'm being pushed to, or advised to do more research and do more studies and do more revisions on what should be done and what is there in the industry. That's a kind of a motivation. And being that, as a student, as sometimes you try to apply to sometimes try to make yourself more proactive, and you sometimes try to make yourself more proactive and more sensitive, and you look into the jobs, into the opportunities of the interactions and maybe competitions, which maybe at times give you like the more competitive measure when you're being put into scale with other individuals, and that one is like the I mean, when being put into challenges. Somebody said that nobody was born for soft things, and you must always take the charge by yourself, by upgrading yourself and applying yourself, putting yourself outside for the difficult things, so that it can be able to shape you and give you like the best form which is needed in the industry, and which is required and will make you more competitive when you are in search of a job or when in search of an opportunity with other students or other persons.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, we have concluded our round of questions for now. Allow me now to give it to the audience to ask a few questions. Wale wana maswali, I think the first question I'm going to ask Joyce later on is, what is the program in onboarding informal manufacturers? I really want to hear about that because they are a key sector of the economy. Carol is agreeing. Let me pick questions. Nani ana maswali? I'll start from there. He was first, but I think we can pick this one first. Keep it very short, channel it to one panelist so that we manage time.
Na usiulize bei ya viatu ya mdosi.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is Mark Omongai Semajanga. As I said, I'm a student at Tangata Institute for Social Transformation, pursuing sustainable human development.
Okay.
My question is directed to you, my brother. When we were discussing the role of universities and the curriculum, what can be done, especially now, what can universities be able to do to be able to tackle the issue of mindset, whereby people say, for me, I go to the university so that I get my degree, so that at the end, I can be able to get a good job, move from my village to Karen or Lavington. What can universities do?
Thank you.
Number two, sorry.
Una maswali mbili?
Excuse me.
Aye, sawa.
Yeah, then number two, I think it's not a question, a comment.
Yeah.
It is something that came up in the first discussion.
Panel.
Yeah, where we were discussing about when you do a course, it's time when we need to realize, why am I doing this course? It's not because I'm doing this course because I want to get a good job or to do this. But it's also the aspect of solving a certain problem in the society. The marketability of your course when it comes to what is the impact of that course in the society today. That is what is going to make you fit in the society. And also, what problem are you solving? If you are going to do education, what problem are you solving in your community? And then also the aspect of social good.
Yeah.
Some people want to go to universities, get a degree, and live a very humble life and say, so that my life can be good, my family can enjoy, my children can have good life. That's why we get it wrong. What about the social good, the community, the society? What is the impact of our courses? Thank you so much. I'm a happy student of Tangaza University.
Hey, I'm to threaten.
Nini? Aya. Chairman, keep it brief. Who are you asking what question?
Hello, everyone. I'm Danfold, an AI engineer. I want to ask you on a perspective of, just on a few brief, AI, just from your sleep in bed, it can write for you stories, paragraphs, CV. It can work for you. It can develop that data. It can grow insights. It really does a lot that I tend to say people can go 4 years, 10 years just to learn the skill. What's your perspective in the industry of how AI is going to engage in our future, or how it's going to place us in the life to come? Thank you.
Very well. The role of artificial intelligence in our lives. Ladies, I want you to ask questions too. There's a lady here. Let's give her an opportunity. There's another lady somewhere there, and then we'll go to that gentleman at the back. You had spoken earlier on.
Okay, thank you so much. So my name is Chantal Kisimba, and I'm an environmentalist by profession. I'm also passionate about youth empowerment. So my question goes to Patrick, Mr. Patrick. We find that there's a young person out there who is thinking of advancing their career or picking a career. So what can you advise them, because they're in a dilemma whereby should they pick a career because of market relevance, or should they pick a career in line with their passion? What can you say about that? Thank you.
Okay, very well. Wale wa kufanyia wazazi courses na wale wa kufuata passion. Carol, I think I'd like you to speak on, as early as you pick the question at the back, way at the back. Yes, that gentleman. I'd like you to speak on the effects, the mental effects of looking for a job, and how that takes a toll on a young person when they're looking for it. I think that would be my question to you. Yes, sir?
Good evening. My name is Boniface Amaya Ilavanza from Waithaka Vocational Training. My question is about technology. Now, there is a very vital space a gap that we are leaving out. We all understand each and everybody nowadays has a phone. And these phones was in a haribika at a given point. So we have techs, vijana wenye tuna train, for example, from where I come from. I'm a trainer at Waithaka. So you find a situation whereby I'm training young people. When I'm releasing them to the market, as a person who I'm mentoring them, unapata nawaambia kwamba unaweza ukafungua a smaller business. So you find that the governments that we have in place, they are trying to suppress these young techs. For example, I'll give an example. You find that mtu mwenye ana import computers na simu kuuza, license is only 5,000. A young man who doesn't need anything, only skills, kwenda pale town kutengeneza simu, license is 15,000. So you find that this young man cannot proceed. Ama afadhali atengeneze kwa mtu, asijiendeleza as an entrepreneur. So as leaders wenye tuko nao saizi, can you have a policy-driven system whereby these young men can have a clear structure vile wanaweza operate, hata for example history this license thing ikue abolished? Thank you.
Was that a question or a comment? Great.
A question.
A question. Who are you channeling it to? Patrick. Aya, sawa. I think we can have a last one there, the gentleman in yellow to the left. Let's have that one as the last one, and then we continue.
Hey, hello. Kwa majina mimi naitwa John Musembi. So ile kitu yenye nauliza wenye wako mbele, for sure nikaa kando ya huyu, sijui kama atanisikiza. Mnajua ile kitu yenye mnaongelea huko, hii education ya Kenya, kitu yenye mmefanya mmetuforce sana. Mmetuforce tukaingilia ni kizungu ndo tumepitia kwa daro. Sasa tukisema tukuja hapo, hata nifike hapo mbele, lazima nikuwe ready, ujue najua kuongea kizungu. Lakini ukijua rahisi, I can listen, and I can still read from that book. So I'm a good speaker and I'm comment. Nimefurahia nimekuja second edition. Mimi sikuwa na swali.
Hiyo ndio inabamba.
No comment. Patrick, please start responding to Endele.
Gen Z.
I know.
Anyway, thank you. You know, it is good to engage the youths.
Yeah.
I like your passion. Now, Boniface, license is really killing the businesses. The last, you are our moderator. When did we launch the barometer?
Last week. Actually on Monday.
On
last
8th,
week
yes.
on Monday.
It is exactly 1 week since we lost last quarter. No, this quarter, what we call a Kenya National Chamber of Commerce Economic Barometer. This barometer, we were engaging the informal sectors and also some corporates. So out of, we reached out to 1,011 fellow Kenyans who are doing small businesses. And without now launching to you another report, I will just give you highlights and tie it with Boniface, your comment. Ladies and gentlemen, we learned from that rapid survey that what is killing the businesses are three major things. One is over-regulations. We over-regulate our businesses. Two is tax regime, unpredictable tax regime. That if you begin your business today, Kanjo will tell you this one, you pay 20,000. Tomorrow, after 3 months, Marasiji, there is finance, county finance bill, 30,000. It is unpredictable, you never know. And there are a series of regulators who wants you to pay the taxes. For a single business, we even realize that if you run a small wine and spirits, because after hard work, you need to really reward yourself. But you see, you will need more than 14 licenses, and you have a stock of 20,000. So we're asking ourselves, are we killing businesses or motivating business? And as private sector, we say no. Over-regulation and unpredictable taxation is killing businesses. The third one was access to affordable finance, which I will not talk about now. So licenses, what we are doing, Boniface, Chamber of Commerce, together with the private sector players, CAM is here, KEPSA is here. We engage county governments because most of the businesses you do at the county level, so that they have a single business permit. If you are running M-Pesa and you are running bookshop, it should be one, and it should be based on your turnover. Not somebody comes, umepanga cartons kiasi kiasi, some of them are empty, then they say, you know, you have a big stock, pay us 50,000 per year. And yet, your return per month cannot even afford that 50. So, Boniface, it is a regular engagement we are doing. We have signed MOU with the Council of Governors. I wish Council of Governors was there because the business that you are doing, the county governments must support. I saw a situation where in February we raised a concern with my own governor, Gladys Wanga. And George, before the end of conference, Gladys had dropped, recently you saw her even withdrawing the finance bill, county finance bill for 2024-2025, because she was able to listen to the outcry of the people. This is the kind of appetite we want our leaders to foresee. And therefore, giving tax holidays and even free, I would call it permits, so that you are developed and you are brought in the tax bracket, it would really motivate most of our youth. So that is what we are doing with us private sector. Simba, you asked, should we really go for passions when choosing career, or it is based on the market driven? I want to say openly, as a career leader, that let's give young Kenyans, our daughters and sons, to choose the courses they want to do driven by passion. I have a nephew who was forced to go and do a degree in medical. Today, that guy has invested in tourism. He has not injected any patient. So sometimes look at how much you will waste paying for the school fees at Chiromo, then Mara wanaenda Kenyatta University for water attachment, only get to know that, no, this one can really do very well in tourism. So let's allow our sisters, even you today, how many do have children here? It is better to begin early. I began very early. Look at my age. I celebrated 50 years 1st July, and I've given a full stop. All my daughters and sons are graduates, you can imagine. So begin early. Don't wait for employment to begin. Now, leave your daughters and sons to choose. And my brother, DG, is here. He once told us when we were celebrating World Skills Competition Day, parents give space to your children to choose the course they want. But what we are advocating as private sector, the universities and learning institutions equip them well whatever courses they have chosen, so that when they go out, they have the practical, not only theoretical, but practical aspect. That is why we support the dual TVET, the dual training, where when you are still in college, we as private sector, we get for you industries, you go and get their practical skills, you are paid something kidogo, unarudi shule. Note that after 4 years, after you have graduated, you can't even define theory of change. So it is very difficult. That is, I think Simba have answered you. Mike, I would be very fast. Market-oriented courses, nini, attachments, what, placement units. I think what I would advise universities, during our time, DG, every university had placement unit, such that by the time you are going for long recess, the ones who are in universities, you go and apply, they do all the engagement with the relevant corporate companies. They write to KEPSA, they write to CAM, they write to KNCCI, ILEO, every corporate entity. Then we provide all companies that would require internship. And we used to get it automatically. You don't have to get this idea of technical know-how and know-who. You have struggled, you have know-how, somebody is telling you must know who. This know-who is what is killing Kenya. So placement units through the Senate at the universities, please invest in placement units where professors or lecturers would be able to really identify, map out all potential companies. By the time students are going for long recess, you can be able to allow them to apply. Automatically, they will be placed. The way NITA is doing, I hope Digit, you are still doing it in TVET institutions. That is the only way to support the youth so that they would be able to develop market-oriented skills and even practical skills from relevant institutions. And they start to get an environment, how you should behave when you are employed, how you should dress. Sometimes we have difficulty even with the Kenyan youths, how you dress up even when you are given employment. So we want you to have a very dual experience through your career path, and universities need to really do this. Lastly, Brian, if you want to grow very fast, there are 4 key areas quick when you need to begin business. 1, beauty. Every day, even men ask, every weekend we want to spend somebody to touch you, nails, nini, that is money. You just touch 30 minutes, hey, boss, lipa 10,000 or 8,000. Beauty, you will not go wrong. 3, information hub. Technology has taught us that everybody is looking for data. Just put a small carton there, right? If you need data, the ones who are exporting meat to maybe Asian markets will be able to provide. Data, you will get money. The 3rd one is food. You only need medicine 1 times 1, but you need food 1 times 3. In the morning, daytime, and in the evening. Work in groups. Start a small joint. Sometimes I go to Upper Hill. If you go to Upper Hill, it's the young youth who are providing for us cheap, something small to eat. Then you start making small money. The 4th one, if you see Kenyans, they are very rich. They are buying very many vehicles. They don't have time to wash them. Get car wash machine. Work together as a team. Put it in a corridor. When Kanjo comes, tell them, we were told, please, tax break. Pole sana, we are still making money as well. We'll join the tax bracket. You will make money. May God bless you. Thank you.
Stepping in for Brian, I don't know if all your questions have been answered.
There was one on AI.
Yes.
And the place...
no, it's okay. You can give your breath on that. Yes.
Yeah, he has talked about data, and AI is where it will be harvesting a lot of data. But I also want to just emphasize, even AI is made by people. So I want to say, please, life is about people. And, people used to say, oh, accounting is going to die already, the accounting tools online, you don't need an accountant. Then you find that somebody has to input that data, somebody has to analyze that data. And when it is analyzed, somebody has to disintegrate it into different sectors for meat, for who. So AI in itself is not in isolation. It still needs people who are building their expertise across all sectors. So whichever course you are in, whether it is legal, whether it is medicine, whether it is welding, that knowledge is very important so that you can feed the AI systems. So the world will be about AI, actually. Not will be, is about AI. And as I said, manufacturing already is data-driven, except for the informal sector, who I was also asked to speak about. Most of them are really just using traditional tools and traditional methods, but that's coming to an end very quickly because now with data, you can be able to do a lot of other things. And technology, like he said, as we are inviting so many machine manufacturers to come to Kenya. And I urge you young people, anytime you hear there's an exhibition, please, the same way you go around the mall, looking at the mall, what is on offer, can you also be going to exhibitions You will be so surprised to see the innovations and the machinery, and even some people looking for agents and traders to help them move their products. They will be so surprised to get new jobs and new opportunities and even learn new things. We have seen the Chinese bring a lot of machinery here, the Italians, the Turkish, so many people are bringing machinery, but we are not seeing young people coming to see. Even students, I urge the universities and the colleges, DG, please tell people to be taking their students to these expos, especially where they are machine-driven expos. So you'll notice that AI now is driving the latest technologies. All the machineries coming in now, latest built, they're all using AI. So if you find someone doesn't have AI, it's the old machine. Just like our TVs, you'll know that those who are using the TVs with a back like this, those are old ones. So if you're buying the new ones, they've gone into a lot of smart TV. So please take seriously the issues of AI. Even ChatGPT, somebody was priding about it, but someone is adding data there. It is somebody adding data. And the people doing research, one of the things we are questioning is the credibility of the data in some of these research works that we are doing. Is the person who input that data an expert? So work on that. In regards to career, I wish to say that we have been there, all of us, struggling on which careers to take. And sometimes you might think that is your passion, especially when you're young. You think this is your passion. So I don't want to blame parents only. Even young people, they wake up and say, this is my passion. By first year, they have decided to change their mind or they misunderstood, especially these computer courses. I have a young nephew who thought, hey, computer, because it was a buzzword. When he went there and he realized there's a lot of statistics and mathematics, he now said, that was not my thing. Me, I thought computers was just playing around with the tools. They were not prepared for the mathematics and the statistics in it. So we must also be guided. Let's not dismiss parents and teachers and other professionals. It's just that I don't know. I know the Ministry of Education restricted the number of professionals going to high schools. But in my time, professionals were going to high schools to tell you the truth about their careers. So that you think this is what the career is about, but it's not. So please look at your area of interest, also where you are good at. You can have a passion in something, but you are not good at it. I hope you understand. So we need to be, I know some schools are very good. They have tools that help you do aptitude tests of your character, your personality, and where you're excelling in. And then look at the industry. Where are these courses? Where can I fit in? For instance, at CAM, we look at also transferable skills, where we say you can be trained in, let's say, electronics or mechatronics or whichever course, but if your interest is in automotive, then you go to automotive because you like cars. Now passion comes now, but you have the skill. Or you want to go and work probably in textile, the same skill will help you there. Or if you're a lawyer or an accountant, you can go to IT if you like IT and be a lawyer there. So look at, first of all, what are you good at? And I know, for instance, we've been partnering with universities to do courses, building curriculums like the pharmacy and the chemists, building curriculum. And one of the things we were doing for driving global competitiveness was to partner with universities from UK, universities from the US, to build that curriculums. And what I liked about that particular project, which we did, was to also get any university in Kenya saying they're offering pharmacy. Let's come and consolidate curriculum. Because you'll find someone saying, pharmacist from Nairobi University is not the same as the pharmacist from, what is it called? Masai Mara. We don't want those conversations. We want, when an employer recruits you and you say you've done law, it cuts across whichever university in Kenya, if we want to standardize education and we want to help you so that employers can make decisions faster. Oh, when you say you have done this course, I can make a decision quickly knowing it is standardized and these are the competencies that I expect from the same. I'm glad the good work happening from TVET is highly also standardized across, but universities we have problems where people are developing their own curriculums. And I just had the young man say, and maybe you're being taught the same notes I was taught in my time, which now are obsolete because many things have changed. So please, we urge ourselves also to encourage and also to call out these lecturers so that you work with DG and other people to say, please, this curriculum cannot be notes of the 80s. Yeah. Can we have the latest curricula? And we as industry, we are ready to support you to build curricula as we create jobs for you. The other issue around entrepreneurship,
before
SME.
Informal sector. While you were speaking, while you were making your comment, it reminded me, someone in the public, I'm called a lot to go to speak to all campus students and all these things, journalism, clubs and all that. And I asked them, what do you guys want to come to do in the newsroom? And they tell me, hey, look, Brian, I want to become a news anchor like you. I want to appear on TV. And I'm saying, that's good. That's very good enough. It's really, really good. But there's no job called news anchor. There's no career called news anchor. But there's a career called journalist. So you can come into the newsroom, and there are so many opportunities right now, you don't even have to appear on TV. In fact, your life is harder when you're on TV. I tell you the truth. This is it. We have right now fact checkers because of fake news and all these things. We have data analysts, guys who just take numbers, crunch them, give very beautiful infographics for you. There are commercial attaches. There are what we call native editors right now because advertising is really changing, and so you have to also change with those times. Brands and clients don't want to be seen as though they are advertising. They want you to tell a story within that advertising. For example, if KEPSA today brought business to NTV or to Nation Media Group, most likely or not, you guys would prefer a story behind it than being told that KEPSA has supported this number of SMEs. And so there are so many new careers being created under journalism itself. Journalism as we knew it, by the way. There is fact checkers, there's so many cadres of careers. So I liked that point, and it just reminded me to speak towards that. Yes, you can end up on TV. Yes, you can end up on radio as a broadcast journalist, but there's so many other social media guys who do content. I have an example of a friend of mine who did journalism, and then when they were being picked as interns back in the day, all of them they wanted to go do the fancy stuff, and it's not bad. Wanted to appear on news, or they got an opportunity to do a report here, there. And what this guy did, it's from a competing media brand, so I won't mention it. What this guy did is, he said, people hear voices of presenters on radio, but they've never really seen them. I have access to a very small camera, DSLR, in the newsroom. Why don't I record these people when they are doing their stuff, and then we post later on YouTube, just the highlights of what they were saying on radio. Imagine in that booth when you were in the radio station, and he recorded these two presenters, and that is how he got his job. While the other guys were still looking for opportunities to be on TV on the other side. I don't know. We've talked about thinking out of the box. I say think as though the box never existed. Your second question, Joyce. On informal manufacturers.
Yes, we have an SME hub at CAM that looks at scouting for all the manufacturers out there. One of the challenges we have is definition of manufacturing. People think you have to have big machines and big sectors like metal and automotive to be called a manufacturer. You have just been told some of the areas that you can invest in. Whether it's a printing machine, you're actually a manufacturer. If you're making juices, you're a manufacturer. A lot of women are actually manufacturers, but they don't know. So they hide thinking that that is for big boys, we are not part of it. So what we do at the SME Hub is scout across the country using the county governments. They have amazing data, the trade department of who are the licensed businesses, and they also have business support centers. We also work very closely with Chamber to mobilize manufacturers within their membership in the different counties, because they are in 47 counties. So when we are going to those areas, we mobilize those small businesses. And we have a lot of donors also helping us to identify startups, people who are hiding, making their things in their houses and just selling. And most of them are actually women selling beauty products. And I must congratulate the women. Butter, body butters, coconut and all those oils, most of them are being done in the buckets, but they are good quality. But you need to assure the market it's good quality. And we have found that KEBS is also friendly. They can actually come and certify you in a space that you have created. They are willing to train you. So what we do, once we get those informal businesses, we build their capacity to be able to be formal first on the quality of their products. Because manufacturing, there has to be safety, there has to be health issues and health standards that we have. Once we get you to have the right quality, we take you through certification process.